We bring you the latest edition of MBC News with me, Kumbukani Piri, and Lindley Mponda, our sign language interpreter. Tonight, our top stories. President Chakwera holds talks with Pope Francis, head of the Catholic Church at the Vatican. Democratic Progressive Party DPP Convention ends as political and social analysts describe the absence of Professor Peter Mutharika at the closing as a wake-up call to seriously evaluate his capability to provide leadership to the party. Lotus Resources Limited Executive Management to visit Malawi to assess when the mine can resume operations. Well, I'm glad you could join us. Our top story tonight. President Dr. Razarus Chakwera has held talks with Pope Francis, head of the Catholic Church at the Vatican. Dr. Chakwera also held discussions with His Eminence Pietro Cardinal, Secretary of State of the Vatican. Meanwhile, Minister of Foreign Affairs Nancy Tembo says this is crucial in cementing the cordial relationship existing between Malawi and the Vatican. Blessings Kanache reports from the Vatican.
Monday, 19th August 2024 will remain in the history of Malawi, having its sitting president visited the Vatican and held discussions with the head of the Catholic Church. After the talks with Pope Francis, Dr. Chakwera met His Eminence Pietro Parolin, Cardinal Secretary of State of Vatican City, where several issues significant to the two countries were discussed. Then the Vatican official took the Malawi leader to a tour of St. Peter's Basilica, the world's greatest cathedral, where he appreciated its historical background and the importance of the facility. St. Peter's Basilica was constructed on the grave of one of the disciples of Jesus Christ, Simon Peter. St. Peter and St. Paul were martyred in Rome, and Constantine started the construction of the basilica way in the 4th century BC. Nancy Tembo is Minister of Foreign Affairs, and she explains the importance of Dr. Chakwera's visit to the Vatican.
An honor to Malawi that our president met and had an audience, a private audience with the Pope. You are aware that the Catholic Church is big in Malawi. We cannot talk of Malawi's development without the Catholic Church. You look at all the schools that have been run by Catholics. You look at all the health centers, health hospitals that are run by the Catholics. And all people that are professionals, people that have gone through Catholic schools in Malawi. It is a very important faith, a church that has helped in the development of Malawi. And so the Pope being head of the Catholic Church, it was just fitting that our president meets with the Pope. So it is an honor. He met with the Pope. We were taken around the basilicas. We were taken around all the historical monuments. And I think the Pope was very happy to see our president. He was very warm. His face was smiling. He greeted all of us. He gave mementos to all of us. It was really a great morning that we've had at the Holy See.
Presidential Advisor on Religious Affairs, Reverend Brian Kamwendo, says this is historic.
Today was a very significant day, especially when His Excellency had been called in audience with His Holiness Pope Francis, who is a Holy Father in the Roman Catholic setting. And when you're looking at this, it actually means quite a lot, because His Excellency, being a leader who is serving the nation that is highly religious, in which the Catholic Church comprises of a very big demographic as far as the nation of Malawi citizenry is concerned, we can actually see and attest to the fact that the collaboration between state and faith, even as it pertains to the aspect of prospering together and also even uniting Malawians, we're actually looking at it as something that is coming into fruition, even as we think about the vision of His Excellency.
President Dr. Razarus Chakwera and the First Lady, Madam Monica Chakwera, left the Vatican after he successfully conducted discussions with Pope Francis and met Eminence Pietro Parolin, Cardinal Secretary of State of the Vatican City. Blessings Kanache, NBC News, the Vatican.
Meanwhile, President Dr. Razarus Chakwera says his administration has revived irrigation farming and created more mega-farms to address climate change-induced hunger in Malawi. He said this when he met Director General of the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, Zomwe, at the institution's headquarters in Rome, Italy. Dr. Chakwera asked for collaboration with FAO in addressing climate change effects such as Cyclone Freddy and dry spells, which continue to affect Malawi's efforts to eradicate hunger quickly. Blessings Kanache reports.
President Dr. Razarus Chakwera had a tight schedule on Monday. Immediately after holding discussions with Pope Francis in the Vatican, Dr. Chakwera went to Rome at the headquarters of the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, where he met its Director General, Zomwe. Zomwe led Dr. Chakwera to the boardroom where the two leaders held talks on issues of food security in Malawi. Among others, Dr. Chakwera told the FAO chief that over 5 million Malawians require food aid this year due to a El Niño-induced hunger in the country. He says his administration is committed to improving people's well-being through agriculture, tourism and mining, and believes that FAO can assist Malawi in dealing with these challenges, support Malawi's efforts in achieving food security and creating wealth for all.
FAO has been a great friend and perfectly aligned itself with the imperative of working together to achieve food security for the people of Africa. This is the greatest thing that we can do. The contributions FAO has made already in Malawi's agricultural sector and its development is self-evident and immense. And so everyone in Malawi knows we're now in hot pursuit of Malawi 2063 vision that you made reference to. And we are wanting to turn Malawi into a self-reliant nation, which is well industrialized and an upper middle income economy. But like you said, without food, that can't work. And so what we are pursuing now is what we have called an ATM strategy, to put emphasis on certain important deliverables that will spur that growth.
Taking his turn, Zomwe assured Dr. Chakwera that his organization will continue to support Malawi in various areas of development to achieve food sustainability. He expressed satisfaction with the efforts the government of Malawi is undertaking to achieve sustainable food security in the country.
So I'm really appreciating your leadership, because after 3-4 times personal discussion with you, you are very clear-minded and strategic, long view, visionary leaders. So, and what is the role for you from the FAO side?
Yeah.
Or what a role we can play together with you? As Africa provider says, if you go faster, go alone. If you go farther,
you got
we should go together.
Together, that's right.
Apart from Malawi, other countries in need of food aid this year due to El Niño or dry spells in the region include Zimbabwe, Mozambique and Zambia. Blessings Kanache, NBC News, Rome, Italy.
Malawi's Vice President, Dr. Michael Usi, has today toured Mzuzu main market to appreciate how vendors plying small-scale businesses in the market are operating. Alex Mangosi has filed this report read by Chimwemwe Milulu.
Business came to a standstill when the Vice President, Dr. Michael Usi, toured Mzuzu main market on Monday afternoon. The Vice President amazed people when he actually ordered and took lunch in one of the restaurants and bought assorted merchandise in the market. Among others, Dr. Usi visited restaurants, fish, rice and other sections of Mzuzu main market. After touring the market, Dr. Usi proceeded to Rumpi district, where he was scheduled to perform other government assignments. The Vice President is in the northern region to undertake a number of official engagements.
Now, the Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, has concluded its national convention, which took place at Commissar Hall in Blantyre, with new office bearers elected to the party's National Governing Council, NGC. Arthur Chokoto was there and he now reports.
The Malawi Electoral Commission (MEC) announced results of elections for office bearers of the DPP National Governing Council before closure of the convention. The party's Central Executive Committee of the NGC has replaced some old office bearers who also contested in some key positions with new leaders. Such positions include that of Vice President for the South, where George Chaponda has been replaced by Joseph Manamveka. Chimwemwe Chipungu, former National Organizing Secretary, has also been replaced by Samia Suleiman, and Charles Mahango has been replaced by Chipiriro Mpinganjira on the position of Director of Legal Affairs. Peter Mukito has been elected Secretary General, replacing Clement Male. Bright Msaka has been maintained as DPP President for the Eastern Region, while Japi Mhango attained the party's Vice Presidency for the North unopposed. Alfred Gangata is now DPP Vice President for the Central Region. Mary Navicha and Gladys Ganda are among some women netted into the NGC's 24 positions as Director of Women and Director of Elections, respectively. Speaking to MBC, newly appointed DPP Vice President for the South, Joseph Manamveka, admitted that the office bearers have a huge task to strengthen the party.
It was a successful convention. We had no issues. No one has been beaten. Nothing has happened. So I want to thank them for that. Secondly, I also want to say that we need to be united because we have a big fight in front of us, and that will be September 2025. We cannot win if we are divided.
However, the DPP convention was closed in the absence of leader of the party, Professor Peter Mutharika, who delegated Dr. George Chaponda to address the delegates on his behalf. Arthur Chokoto, MBC News, Blantyre.
Meanwhile, political and social analysts have described the absence of Democratic Progressive Party's president, Professor Peter Mutharika, as a wake-up call to seriously evaluate his capability to provide leadership to the party. Mutharika was scheduled to officially close the two-day convention, but instead delegated George Chaponda, who delivered a statement on his behalf. But a Blantyre-based political and social commentator, Chimwemwe Tsitsi, is of the view that the no-show of Mutharika should be a cause for worry to the DPP as it gears for next year's elections, considering his age.
The absence of APM at the end of the convention to deliver a speech in form of closing remarks, it makes people to actually read too much into issues of age and his capabilities to lead not only the party but potentially the country, because people have expressed some reservations with regard to his desire to continue leading the party and be its torchbearer in the next year's election owing to his age. And I think it is a missed opportunity for him to actually put away such kind of misconceptions that people have about his age and his capabilities by making sure that at least at the closure of the convention he was there to deliver that speech form of closing remarks. So he has missed that opportunity. He may be quite healthy, quite well and quite capable of going back to the venue and deliver the speech, but might have been engaged with something else. But the challenge is, owing to his age, people may read too much into his absence and conclude that I think his age is having a toll on his capabilities to attend to certain functions, and this may cast doubts on the electorate in terms of his capabilities to lead the country. He happens to win next year's election.
And also weighing in is a governance and political analyst, Moses Mkandoire, who's expressed concern over the development which he said could disappoint delegates who travelled far and wide to attend the Indaba.
If he did not communicate and that the delegates were waiting for him, then that becomes a little bit of a problem, such that people definitely will have to put 1 or 2 or 3 questions on his lack of availability, because the convention is the highest assembly, a decision-making body for an organization like the party. And therefore, the leadership plays a critical role in terms of making himself or herself available. And if you don't make yourself available, definitely you cannot blame people if they start questioning. I mean, the mayor absence definitely will raise 1 or 2 issues unless there was provision of information, there was an explanation, there was also justification as to why he did not make himself available to the delegates, because people have traveled all along from different places, far and wide, in order to listen to the one that they've put in office.
The absence of Mutharika comes against the background of the recent presence of President Dr. Razarus Chakera throughout the night when the Malawi Congress Party was holding its convention at the Bingo International Convention Center in Lilongwe. While you're watching NBC News with me, Kumbukani Piri, and my sign language interpreter tonight is Lin Ponda. Remember, you can access all NBC digital platforms by simply scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. A reminder of our top stories. President Chakwera holds talks with Pope Francis, head of the Catholic Church at the Vatican. Democratic Progressive Party DPP convention ends as political and social analysts describe the absence of Professor Peter Mutharika at the closing as a wake-up call to seriously evaluate his capability to provide leadership to the party. Lotus Resources Limited executive management to visit Malawi to assess when the mine can resume operations.
Soko matu kumaranatha sizikuteleke titatsekula Maranatha Capital Girls Academy makolo munalankhula tinamva munati mukufuna sukulu yapamwamba ku Capitolo ya Nyamata ndiye tadzanayo tsopano Maranatha Capital Boys Academy malo ake ndi abwino kwambiri 50 km kuchokera ku Lilongwe pamponera penipeni paja panali mbode motel chakudya ndi hotel standard kukamba za maphunziro mukudziwa kale inu yonse limaphweketsayi funsa ku university iliyonse ya mdziko muno mukamva kuti hafu ya ana kumeneko anachokera ku Maranatha. Izizi sizomaganizaso kawiri katatu leloli imbani foni pa 0888 993 232 0993 832 832 kapena 0991 276 273. Anyamata onse ofuna kupita ku university chaka chamawa akukhamukira kumene kuku ku Maranatha Capital Boys Academy chifukwa tupaja zikakanika kwenaku ukuku ku Maranatha zimatheka.
Welcome to St. Peter's Private Schools in Imponela, where we prepare our students for the future with excellence, diversity and innovation. St. Peter's Private Schools in Imponela offers a wide range of academic programs that cater for the interests and abilities of our students. Our teachers are qualified, experienced and dedicated to helping learners achieve their goals. We have 3 schools under St. Peter's Private Schools. We have a primary school, boys' secondary school and a girls' secondary school at your disposal. Science and technology are crucial in today's world. We have audio visual learning facilities, state-of-the-art laboratory and a modern and well-equipped library. At St. Peter's Private Schools in Imponela, we also celebrate our diversity and our culture. We also prepare our students for the next stage of their lives. So what are you waiting for? Join us at St. Peter's Private Schools in Imponela today and discover your potential. St. Peter's Private Schools in Imponela.
Welcome back to MBC News. Government says it will continue to demonstrate high-level commitment in promoting maternal health, care and sexual reproductive services in communities. According to Minister of Health, Kumbise Kandodo Chiponda, government will, among other things, continue to invest more resources towards refurbishment of healthcare infrastructure at council level. Owen Mavula with a report.
Not so long ago, Balaka District Council embarked on a construction project of a modern maternity wing at Chienda Health Center as part of its effort to reduce congestion and workload at Balaka District Hospital. Today, the modern maternity wing, according to the contractor, is at its completion stage as most of the construction works have been done, remaining with final touches. The modern infrastructure is expected to serve a catchment population of about 16,000 people, and according to Director of Health and Social Services in the district, Dr. Chimwemwe, the facility has potential to serve 8 more facilities. This was disclosed when Minister of Health, Kumbise Kandodo Chiponda, inspected construction works of the 700 million kwacha worth of project in the district, where she expressed satisfaction with the quality and speed of the work.
As a council, they sat down and decided that part of the money which they got, they have to use it to construct the maternity wing which is behind me. And they have used about 700 million. It's quite impressive. When you look at it, even when you go inside, one would think that they have used so much money. But this is only about 700 million. This is a prudent use of government resources.
District Commissioner for Balaka, Tamanya Harawa, said the construction of the modern maternity wing is a milestone in ensuring that women are having easy access to maternal health services.
Well, we may upgrade this facility to a rural hospital. So that's one matter. Number 2, it will reduce the workload at the district hospital. So we expect most of the people from this area and the feeder facilities will actually have access to the facility. So that will reduce the workload at the main hospital.
According to the district commissioner, the project is part of a 1.2 billion kwacha hospital infrastructure fund allocated to the district council by government. Under the infrastructure fund, the district has been implementing 3 projects: rehabilitating outpatient department at Balaka District Hospital, refurbishment of Balaka District Hospital, and the construction of the modern maternity wing at Chienda Health Center. Owen Mavula, MBC, Balaka.
The Ministry of Energy says electric vehicles have the potential to reduce the country's fuel import bill if widely adopted. Energy Minister Ibrahim Matola said this as the United Nations Development Programme launched its first electric vehicle in Lilongwe. Matola added that electric vehicles have a double effect of reducing carbon emissions as well as transforming the country's economy. More in this report by Trust Office.
The United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, launched its first electric vehicle as part of the Green Transformation Agenda. UNDP resident representative Fenella Frost told MBC that the Malawi country office is setting the pace in reducing carbon emissions as well as transitioning to renewable energy solutions. Frost has since called on government to put in place incentives that will compel more people to import the modern vehicles.
The government has just put in place a waiver for import tax for energy vehicles. It's very important to see that that's applied, including to to green motorbikes, for example, to e-motorbikes, but also, of course, training.
And Malawi's Minister of Energy, Ibrahim Matola, says government will soon engage the private sector as well as a number of partners to create adequate incentives that will increase the number of people adopting electric vehicles.
The government of His Excellency Dr. Razarus Chakwera is a listening government and will involve all the private sector and come together on the table and solve their concerns accordingly. We would want these EVs to be everywhere in this country because it is going to reduce the import of our fuel.
The United Nations Development Programme UNDP Country Office is the first public institution to move in towards renewable energy solutions like electric vehicles. Trust Office, MPC News, Lilongwe.
Lotus Resources Limited executive management team, which holds 85% stake in Chakera uranium mine in Karonga, is expected to visit Malawi this week to assess how soon the mine can resume operations. Chakera mine general manager FAO disclosed this when various stakeholders led by National Planning Commission and the Presidential Delivery Unit visited the mine to appreciate its status ahead of the planned resumption. More in this report compiled by Yamika Nisimtowe but read by Patrick Dambula.
Malawi aspires to be a wealthy and self-reliant industrialized upper middle-income country by 2063. The current government came up with agriculture, tourism and mining ATM strategy as a roadmap to the country's economic transformation. It is against this background that various stakeholders, including National Planning Commission NPC, the Presidential Delivery Unit, Wapitira Institute, UNDP and the Ministry of Finance visited Chakera uranium mine in Karonga to appreciate its status ahead of the planned resumption. General Manager at Chakera mine, FAO said Lotus executives will jet into the country this week to evaluate how soon the mine can restart its operations. He said they intend to employ about 500 Malawians and expatriates with specific skills to run the mine.
They're going to evaluate the whole plant and see, firstly, what it's going to cost to restart the mine, and very close estimation of what it's going to cost us, and then obviously what needs to be done to get the mine into production ASAP. I cannot commentate or talk about what happened in the past with the previous owners. All that I can say from a Lotus point of view is that we do have a community development agreement that has been agreed to with the local people around the mine, and we will go according to that development agreement with the community, and that is where we will let everybody that's part of this community will participate in the well-being of this mine.
National Planning Commission Director General Thomas Muntali said the Commission and other stakeholders will support the company to restart operations sooner than later. Muntali said mining has tremendous potential to develop and support the country's inclusive wealth agenda. Published reports indicate that Chakera needs about 154 billion kwacha investment to restart operations for the next 10 years. National Planning Commission is the lead agency for planning and coordinating Malawi's development.
Well, that item also wraps up this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories before we leave. President Chakwera holds talks with Pope Francis, head of the Catholic Church at the Vatican. Democratic Progressive Party DPP Convention ends as political and social analysts describe the absence of Professor Peter Mutharika at the closing as a wake-up call to seriously evaluate his capability to provide leadership to the party. Lotus Resources Limited executive management to visit Malawi to assess when the mine can resume operations. Well, for more on these and other stories, you can follow us on mbc.mw, Facebook and X, and you can access all MBC digital platforms by simply scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You're with me, Kumbukani Piri, and our sign language interpreter tonight was Linlin Ponda. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.